Help.
Da bi dostigli najveću sreću i ispunjenje mir u našim životima, moramo znati koji nam je cilj u životu. Bez da znamo koji je cilj, ako se ne krećemo tim našim putem prema cilju, ne možemo ni očekivati da ćemo dostići sreću.
Just in a simple way explaining, when I find myself in a particular situation of life, then when I understand the situation better, then I know how to act according to the situation, how to treat that situation in a best favorable way to me, in my best interest, so that I can have the best utility, best satisfaction, happiness from that situation. I have to know how to deal with the situation.
Slično tome kad se nađemo u nekoj životnoj situaciji, ako znamo kako se trebamo ponašati u toj situaciji, ako znamo kako raditi da bi ta situacija ispala što bolja, tako će nam i rezultat biti bolji.
Also I have to understand about myself what I really want from this situation.
Isto tako moramo znati što u stvari želimo, što mi želimo od te situacije koja nam se postavlja.
If I do not understand, realize about my own self in the first place, what I really want, what I don't want, what will be actually beneficial for me, what is not beneficial. So if I do not understand myself properly, then how can I understand what is the best interest of mine from the situation?
Ako ne znamo koja je naša prava priroda, naše jastvo, i ako ne znamo što je najbolje za nas, kako se možemo nadati da ćemo imati najbolje okolnosti u životu i da će najbolje biti za nas?
And if I do not understand properly what kind of best gain I can have, but also if I do not understand properly what type of best gain I can have, how I can receive, derive, attain the best kind of happiness and satisfaction by fulfilling my own needs, fulfilling the needs of my own life from the situation. If I do not have the proper knowledge about myself, about the situation I am living in and relating to, then I do not know how to derive the best of happiness and best of prosperity.
Tako da ako ne znamo na koji način ćemo iz određene situacije izvući najveću korist, najveću sreću za nas, nećemo ni dobiti. Ne možemo to ni riješiti, ne možemo očekivati da ćemo dobiti tu sreću.
Therefore Mahaprabhu simply said, self-realization in relation to Supreme God realization are must for all of us.
Tako je gospodin Čejtanja odgovorio da je samospoznaja nešto što obavezno svako od nas mora nastojati ostvariti ili raditi na tome.
Ne.
U odnosu sa
ja.
Bogom. I realizacija Boga.
Samo spoznaja i spoznaja Boga.
Self-realization and God realization.
Self-realization
in relation to Supreme God realization. It's not a separate thing.
Hvala. Samo spoznaja u odnosu na Boga. Na naš odnos sa Bogom.
Because you know, we find three great ways of the manifestation of the truth. You know, life, God and universe. Okay?
Three
great manifestations of the truth. We find three great manifestations of the truth.
Supreme truth, great manifestations of the Supreme Absolute Truth, God, our life, God and universe.
Imamo tri manifestacije apsolutne istine, Bog, život i svemir.
Okay. They are all closely interrelated.
Sve su međusobno blisko povezane.
Okay. So, when we come to properly know, when we come to appropriately know about my own self and the Supreme God and the universe related with, and when we have that knowledge, holistic, relatively holistic knowledge, and then we approach to our life to make us happy, okay, with the proper knowledge and conception how to make myself happy, how to work out for the best of my interest in life, how to fight the problems, negative problems, overpower and solve them, and flow in a positive way with positive energy and prosperity, then we can be truly happy ultimately.
Ako smo upućeni to znanje, ako smo realizirali to znanje između nas, univerzuma i Boga, tako će nam biti puno lakše rješavati naše svakodnevne probleme i na kraju ćemo moći ćemo kretati se, biti sve bliže krajnjoj sreći.
See, in brief, we all are desperately searching after the happiness, divine pleasure of life, bliss of life.
Svi mi tragamo za svi mi tragamo za blaženstvom u životu. Srećom, blaženstvom.
We all are searching after the divine lights, higher lights of the knowledge and the bliss, divine bliss.
Svi tragamo za božanskim znanjem, božanskom svjetlošću znanja i božanskim blaženstvom.
To receive the fulfillment, higher fulfillment.
Kako bi dobili to više ispunjenje.
But until we know about our own selves, we have knowledge about our own selves, our situation, okay, and what is my final goal, how to reach my final goal, I cannot really receive that, what I am wanting for, desperately looking for, the ultimate happiness.
Ali dok ne znamo sami sebe, dok ne idemo prema tom cilju, ne možemo ni dobiti ono što tražimo.
So therefore cultivation of life divine, cultivation of higher spiritual life, life divine is required.
Zbog toga trebamo prakticirati,
is a necessity.
Zbog toga trebamo prakticirati viši nivo života, božanski život.
You know,
znači to je uvjet bez koga se ne možemo dostići što želimo.
Sometimes we are receiving some happiness, satisfaction of life, but then so many problems are coming on the way, and then we become so much affected by the problems, faced with problems, in order to, and we don't find enough solutions of the problems because of our lacking of knowledge. Then what happens? Problems take over our life and no happiness.
Ponekad se u našim životima zna dogoditi da da iskusimo određenu sreću, no međutim, ta sreća je kratkotrajnog vijeka i nakon toga se pojavljuje jako puno problema. I kad se pojavljaju problemi, ako ne znamo pravilno rješavati probleme, onda će nas ti problemi potpuno savladati.
So Mahaprabhu says, in the very first place, know thyself. Know about yourself, who you are.
Actually, prvo što je gospodin Četanja rekao Sanatana Gosvamiju, jest da moramo znati tko smo.
It's called, in the spiritual term, higher spiritual term, it is called self-realization, atmopalabdhi, self-realization.
To se u duhovnoj terminologiji naziva samospoznam.
See, the nature of such self-realization is not like that, the way I know about myself. Like this body, such and such is my name, I look like this, okay, this and such is my degree, okay. These are all relative, limited self-identity, no real self-realizations.
Ta samospoznanje se ne odnosi na ove naše imenovanje materijalnog svijeta, odnosno ono što možemo vidjeti našim osjetilima, ovo je moja ruka, ovo su moja osjetila, ovo je moja diploma i tako dalje.
Mahaprabhu says in other words, know thyself properly. In other words, you know yourself actually, in reality. In other words, know about your deeper self, higher self, your holistic self, beyond just a limited relative concept of your own identity.
Stoga gospodin Četanja govori o tome da moramo spoznati našeg pravog sebe, našeg višeg sebe, holističkog sebe. Ne samo znači ovo je naše postojanje u materijalnom svijetu koje je vrlo ograničeno.
And that is called self-realization.
I to se naziva samospoznaje.
Realization means realizing your actual self, real self, deeper self, inner self, okay, your transcendental self beyond the relative limited concepts of your own self again. That is self-realization.
Opet, ta samospoznaje znači spoznaja našeg pravog sebe. Našeg pravog sebe, ne ono što sad jesmo, nego naše više, višu spoznaju u odnosu sa Bogom.
And again, then only you can have a proper, appropriate self-realization when you also realize yourself, discover yourself in relation to your source, to your divine origin, Supreme God.
Tu samospoznaju ne možemo postići dok ne spoznamo naš odnos sa našim izvorom, a to je znači naš božanski izvor, naš odnos sa božanskim izvorom, sa Bogom.
Mahaprabhu says next, if you cannot really connect with your own origin, I repeat, if you cannot really connect with your own absolute source, divine origin, your own cause, then you cannot really properly define about your own self, realize about own self, because it's all are interconnected. Okay, so you cannot be cannot try to realize yourself as separate with your limited identity, limited self-conception, but you have to discover about yourself, realize in relation to the absolute divine truth, supreme absolute divine, who is none other than your origin.
Ako pokušamo spoznati sebe bez da isključimo znači naš izvor, božanski izvor, doživjet ćemo neuspjeh. Znači, ako želimo doista spoznati što jesmo, naše pravo jastvo, samo spoznati se, onda moramo znači spoznati taj odnos koji imamo s našim božanskim izvorom, sa Bogom.
And then, thereafter, side by side, also you need to have some knowledge, proper knowledge, realization about the universe you are living in, that your supreme origin, your supreme source, supreme creator, also created a beautiful universe to live your life. Live your life in a befitting way. He already provided all the needs, your dire necessities, and so created this universe so that you can live your life comfortably, happily, by receiving all needs from the universe.
Isto tako, moramo imati pravo znanje o svijetu u kojem živimo, univerzumu. Jer vidimo da je naš božanski stvoritelj, božanski izvor, kreirao ovaj univerzum na način da nam omogućuje da
imamo uvjete.
Imamo sve što treba.
Imamo sve uvjete za normalan život, da su sve naše želje ispunjene.
In other words, so also you need to realize, have appropriate conceptions about this situation, universe or this situation you are living in, you are living your life through, okay, to understand how to get the best from that situation already created by the Supreme Divine in your interest, best interest, to derive the best happiness.
Isto tako moramo imati znači pravo znanje o tome zašto nam se dogodila određena situacija i kako raditi s tom situacijom, našim u životu, kako bi mogli izvući naš najbolji interes iz te situacije.
See, these are all scientifically designed, very scientifically planned out by the Supreme Absolute Divine Truth, Creator.
Sve je to na jedan vrlo znanstveni način osmislio naš božanski stvoritelj.
We need to have the proper lights of the knowledge. We need to receive proper enlightenment.
Stoga moramo imati pravo znanje, moramo biti pravilno
primiti znanje
na pravilan način.
Our Supreme God In other words, our Supreme Creator has already created us endowed with some intelligence, natural intelligence and knowledge, conceiving ability.
Naš stvoritelj nas je također i obdario sa i znanjem i inteligencijom, da bi to razumjeli.
So be applying that and try to understand and then go for it. Understand everything and then go for to achieve the highest good of your life.
Stoga to bi trebali sve pokušati razumjeti i ako to razumijemo, onda bi trebali se upustiti na taj put prema ostvarenju najvišeg cilja života.
And also on your way of living life, not only you are faced with some positive things, but a lot of negative things, problems. And how to find out the way or make the ways how to solve those problems and be successful in a positive way.
Isto tako u našim životima će pored jako puno pozitivnih stvari biti dosta negativnih i to znanje će nam pomoći da te negativne stvari na pravilni način razumijemo i riješimo i da iz toga izađemo s jednim pozitivnim stavom.
Then we can definitely receive, we can be blessed with the highest kind of happiness, highest type of satisfaction or experience of bliss in our life.
Ako to sve prakticiramo, biti ćemo kandidat da dobijemo najveću sreću, najveće blaženstvo u našim životima.
There are different process of cultivations of our life divine. Cultivation of a higher spiritual life has been recommended by Holy Scriptures, also by the exalted, realized devotees of Lord.
Postoji puno procesa kako bi mogli ostvariti taj božanski život. Maharaja je spomenuo znači da nam je taj proces dan iz šastra, svetih spisa, kao i iz naših duhovnih učitelja, ačarija.
The process of self-realization and God realization. Here I mean God means supreme absolute divine. Okay, so don't be mixing with this concept of God, that concept, this religious concept of God. I'm just saying supreme absolute divine, period.
Znači ovdje govorimo o putu samospoznaje s jedne strane i s druge strane da realiziramo naš odnos sa svevišnjom božanskom osobom.
Supreme absolute divine reality. Supreme absolute divine reality of all unlimited character and transcendental character. That's what I mean as God. Okay? Explain.
So does this mean like Vrindavan Dham altogether or in this way? Or?
I am speaking in a more new age way now, not traditional way. So you have to translate accordingly.
Okay. So, znači, govorimo o realizaciji duhovnog svijeta. Apsolutno.
Vrhunski put.
The supreme absolute divine truth that of endless transcendental endless character.
Znači, o svevišnjoj božanskoj osobi pričamo koji...
Ne osobi.
Da.
Apsolutno. Znači, apsolutno koji je neograničen, ima beskonačne kvalitete, karakter.
In other words, supremely all-pervading, omnipresent, omniscient, divine truth, superpower.
Znači, onome koji sve prožima, koji je svemoćan, sve prisutan, sveznajući.
Božanska istina.
When that becomes personified, called Krishna, by one of the most endeared names called Krishna.
Kada to sve znači utjelovimo u osobu, onda mislimo na Krišnu.
Because the supreme, absolute, all-pervading, omnipresent superpower without which we cannot conceive of our life, of our being, is not only manifesting, is not only of impersonal energy form, but that impersonal energy, vast, infinite superpower can also manifest in a personal way, unlimited character.
Zato što su ta svevišnja apsolutna istina koja je sve prožimajuća, sveznajuća, ona se ne može manifestirati, ona se ne manifestira samo kao energija, nego se može manifestirati kao osoba, osobno.
Okay. So, Mahaprabhu points out, Jive Sharup Hai Krishner Nitya Das, Krishner Tatastha Shakti Bheda Bheda Prakash. In the first place, Mahaprabhu is pointing out to this fundamental truth, original truth of our being, of our life. Yes.
Mahaprabhu zatim, nakon toga nam je rekao ovu principu fundamentalnu istinu u našem životu. Da smo sluge Krishna.
That the first of all you understand that you are none other than an energy particle of the Supreme Absolute Divine, superpower, energy particle, okay, that is your real identity, your spirit soul, not just this body, but your spirit soul, transcending your bodily concept.
Prvo što moramo shvatiti je da nismo samo materijalno tijelo, nego da smo dio energije svevišnje božanske osobe, odnosno duša.
So your eternal spirit soul being an energy particle of the Supreme Divine Lord.
Stoga mi smo vječna duhovna duša, energetski dijelić svevišnje božanske osobe.
So by your own original nature, you are so full of happiness and bliss, higher spiritual bliss. But due to some conditionings of your self, in a mundane conditioning, today you are here on this material plane, okay, and experiencing some well and woe, pains and pleasure, okay, on this mundane plane.
Da, iako znači se sad nalazimo u materijalnom svijetu, gdje iskušavamo i doživljavamo i pozitivne i negativne stvari, bol i sreću, ne smijemo zaboraviti da smo duhovna duša.
Something like that.
Puno blaženstva.
Let me try to explain in a little simplified way, okay, that like we are often faced with many unwanted, unexpected problems just coming from nowhere, not expecting, coming from nowhere, some problems coming and occupying our life, making us unhappy.
Probat ću malo to pojednostaviti. Često smo suočeni sa jako puno problema za koje ne znamo od kud su došli i potpuno nas zakopiraju.
So when we come to know about our own self, the nature of our own self, through self-realization, and the nature of the problem, why it's coming, how it is happening from the situation, and then find out how to deal with the problem and solve it, then naturally we can do that successfully and feel happy, finding the solution with the lights of the knowledge that is required.
Ukoliko imamo tu svjetlost znanja, onda ćemo znati zašto je problem došao, moći ćemo se suočiti s tim problemom i naći rješenje.
But if we simply continue to be living in darkness, I repeat, if we simply be continuing to be living in darkness, under ignorance, without any enlightenment, without any knowledge about what is what, how to deal with other stuffs, what am I, and how to find everything, okay, do everything in the best of my interest, my happiness, then we cannot do anything. So lights of knowledge, proper conceptions are required in the first place.
Da bi izašli iz te tame neznanja, da bi našli put svjetlosti, moramo dobiti to svjetlo znanja i na taj način znači iz nekih loših situacija izvući ono najbolje.
We often have lazy mind, very lazy mind. We don't want to think over because it's too deep, too high. Oh, I will do it later. Okay, so let me go on right now at this place, the way I am. Let it happen, whatever way it wants to happen. Just leave it. It's not a proper way.
Često imamo taj simptom lijenog uma. Radije ćemo pustiti stvari neka se događaju svojim tijekom, nego pokušati promijeniti nešto. To nije pravilan način kako trebamo djelovati.
We simply want to be flowing in a usual, conventional way. In other words, we simply want to be flowing, continuing our life in a usual known way we are accustomed to it, in a usual limited, isolated manner, without thinking further, analyzing further, without trying to know further. Just become lazy and trying to escape the problem. That's not the solution.
Često imamo situaciju da želimo znači da život ide svojim tijekom, da se ne opuštamo na način da razmišljamo kako riješiti problem, da jednostavno sve ide svojim tokom, da živimo naš život kako smo navikli, bez da se nešto promijeni. To nije pravilan način kako bi trebali djelovati.
We do not want to have proper idea and knowledge. Just escape from that, avoid it, thinking, oh, it is okay. I've got other things to do. Then what happens? Because of our improper, inadequate knowledge, inadequate, conception, about everything, we do not know how to deal with the things, how to deal with the problems, how to deal with the problems in relation to me, according to my capacity, because I also don't know fully about my own capacity. I also have a limited concept about my own self, limited conception about the situation, how to deal with. And I also don't want to do more because of some laziness also. How can I expect the best for myself, best good?
Ako djelujemo na taj način da jednostavno ignoriramo situaciju i pokušamo pobjeći od nje, ono što će nam se dogoditi jest da nećemo uspjeti riješiti situaciju i dogodit će nam se to da kako možemo očekivati da će nam se nešto promijeniti u životu ako ne želimo uključiti znači naš um da promijenimo nešto u svojim životima.
One of the great problems in our life, or the most fundamental problem in our life, that we have karmic actions and reactions that give birth to many problems in life, and we do not understand the nature of problems always very nicely. Then we also do not know how to solve it. We do not actually know fully well what way I want, what is my real objective of life, which is the way I really want, this way or that way. We do not have the proper concept about that. Then we do not know how to deal with things from a broader perspective, from a broader picture. Only we know temporarily, in a temporary way, limited way. That's all our whole world, very limited. And therefore, finally we do not have the knowledge how to solve the problem and how to bring higher happiness and gain in my life. I continue to suffer. Knowledge is required. Higher lights of the knowledge is required. Krishna also says that.
Jedan od osnovnih problema u našim životima što situacija u kojoj se nalazimo je posljedica naših karmičkih reakcija. I ako nemamo to pravo znanje...
Cilj. Prvo cilj. Objektiv.
Ako nemamo cilj u našim životima,
i znanje. Da. Znači kako da riješimo problem, znači onda ga nećemo riješiti.
Treba nam znanje, da.
Da, nam znanje da bi riješili taj problem.
Ako imamo samo ograničeno znanje o nama, o sebi, onda ne možemo ni očekivati da ćemo s našim limitiranim, ograničenim znanjem uspjeti riješiti te probleme koji se pojavljaju u našim životima.
So first of all, knowledge required. The second step, application, proper application of that knowledge, proper implementation of that knowledge into practice, through practice required. Second step.
Drugi korak je u tome da to znanje koje smo dobili implementiramo u našim životima na pravilan način.
And doing both of them, having the proper knowledge as much as possible and making the implementation, appropriate implementation of that knowledge into practice, and doing both functions in relation, finally in connection with the supreme universal truth, universal power, okay, supreme divine truth. Then at some point we'll start receiving a first-class quality of happiness, that are immortal character, divine character, bliss of divine character.
I na kraju, kada dobijemo to znanje i primjenjujemo ga u našim životima, treći korak je znači da to sve povežemo sa svevišnjom božanskom osobom.
Istina. Opet nije. Divine truth, znači ne s osobom.
Ne osobom.
Truth. Divine truth.
New age idemo, ne idemo od...
Ne, pa možda bolje, evo kažem...
Happiness of divine character, immortal.
Ja bi volio da dajte prevodi.
Ne, to super prevajaš.
Samo ovo umjesto osobe, samo to ti je.
Ti si u Brindavanu. He's immersed Brindavan, you can't.
Ne kažeš šta je čuo i gotovo.
Sa svevišnjom istinom, apsolutnom istinom, onda će nam se otvoriti ta vrata kroz koja ćemo dobiti, znači, barem u jednom trenutku ćemo dobiti bar te dijelić istinske sreće.
See, herein also, I'm speaking the glories of Vrindavan Dham ultimately in different language.
Okay. Maharaja govori o slavama Vrindavana na jedan drugi način, drugim jezikom.
I'm speaking in different language. I'm also describing, narrating the glories finally of Vrindavan Dham, leading towards that. Okay, my approach, using another way of approach.
Malo drugačiji pristup Maharaja na ovoj lekciji prema glorifikaciji i slavljenju Šri Vrindavan Dhama.
See, when you directly speak of Vrindavan Dham, it's quite easy for you all because you have been used to it, but not so for the New Age people. So you know what is Vrindavan Dham and all. So,
okay. Za one koji su praktikanti već bhakti, za njih je normalno da se govori o duhovnom svijetu, odnosno Vrindavan Dhami, međutim za one koji su možda više u nekim drugim praksama, uvjerenjima, za njih možda treba ovako jedan malo drugačiji pristup.
Okay, now the big question is that, Maharaji, is enough. You repeatedly explain the same thing again and again, how to receive happiness. Now, please now tell us how to do that.
Sad dolazimo do onog pitanja ovoga, Maharaj puno se nam priča o tome kako doći do sreće. Sad molim te da reci nam kako to doista i napraviti, kako to aplicirati.
A very easy but very invaluable, priceless way. One of the very easy and invaluable, priceless ways, meaningful ways of doing it. Just do it. Just do it. Be open-hearted, open your heart with prayerful mood in relation to the Supreme Divine Absolute. Please help me. Okay, with all your open heart, hankering after your own highest good, with engaging in prayer before the Supreme Divine Absolute, and find the best knowledge about your own self in an intuitive way through meditations. Absorb in meditations, find yourself through your own consciousness, and just go forward. Don't stand or stay limited in one place. Just start. Make a start towards the higher divinity, higher life divine, and something wonderful will manifest in your life. So in this way, just do it. You need to have that sincere desire to do it for yourself, to invite the highest good of your life.
Ja ću probati malo to prevesti koliko se pomognite mi naravno. Ono što bi trebali napraviti, znači trebali bi otvoriti srce i iskreno zamoliti apsolutnu istinu. Sa našim, znači sad otvorenim srcima, iskrenom molbom da nam se manifestira ta sreća u našim životima. Ne bi trebali nikada ostajati na jednom mjestu, trebali bi krenuti s našim procesom, kakav god da prakticiramo. Ne bi trebali čekati. Samo krenuti. Još je bilo nešto se ne znam.
Just do it.
Realize yourself through meditation.
Trebali bi znači meditirati. Svoju vlastitu svjesnost realizirati.
I moliti za pomoć.
Hvala.
A great poet with higher realization describing in this language, I repeat, a great poet, knowledgeable poet with higher realization of life, God and universe, describing in this way. First translate, then I will say.
Jedan veliki pjesnik koji je bio i realizirana osoba je na ovaj način, kako će sad Maharaja reći, opisao.
Saying, you are staying inside your house, you are staying inside your small residence house. Just open the door, look in front, look before, the beautiful nature, green surroundings, fresh air, beautiful nature, and feel its openness, feel its embrace in a supernormal way, transcendental way, instead of just casual way. Oh, I have already seen it. What's the big deal? Okay, I every day open my door and see this tree and this nature. I breathe in the same air, it's fine. What is next? Not like that. Do you understand what I'm saying? Simply open your door of your limited house, okay, isolated space, open your door and look in front and feel. Go feel the embrace of your nature, Mother Nature, and feel being embraced by the Mother Nature in transcendental manner, that you are breathing the pranic energy of the Supreme Absolute Divine every moment to sustain and nurture your life being. You're not just breathing in and out in a mechanical way. Feel that you are feeling fresh, your life becoming fresh from the pranic energy of the nature, coming from the universe to sustain, nurture your life. The water you are drinking, giving you pranic energy to sustain and nurture your life. Feel gratitude to the Supreme Absolute Divine that He created me, also created these beautiful ways to live my life, support my life, nurture my life. I'm so grateful, and feel your relation with the Supreme Absolute Creator of yourself, Divine. You will find a greater joy, happiness, discover yourself in a greater way about your own self in relation to the Supreme Absolute Infinite Divine.
Znači, veliki pjesnik nam je dao jednu jako lijepu način kako možemo promijeniti svoj život. Dok živimo u našoj maloj kući i izlazimo van na uobičajen način, udišući zrak, gledajući prirodu, ono što možemo napraviti, možemo promijeniti našu percepciju. Možemo izaći van i diviti se prirodi koju je stvorila apsolutna istina. Možemo možemo udišući zrak osjetiti pravu energiju, pranu koju nam je stvoritelj dao da možemo održavati naše tijelo. Trebalo bi osjećati zahvalnost za to što nas je naš stvoritelj stvorio i što nam je dao sve mogućnosti da živimo svoj život na ovom planetu.
Feel the embrace of Mother Nature.
Da, jako lijepo je pisao Maharaja, isto da trebali bi osjetiti taj zagrljaj majke prirode, ne samo da izađemo van razmišljajući, pa da, vidio sam već to drvo, to nebo i tako dalje. Ne, morali bi izaći van, osjetiti zagrljaj majke prirode, osjetiti znači da zahvalnost, povezanost sa svevišnjim božanskom, sa kreacijom njegovom i tako dalje.
Try to understand one point in the first place, that compared to how much knowledge, how much knowing you can have, you have known nothing about your own self, about your surroundings, about the nature. You know very little. So first of all, be free. Rise above your limited ego, false pride that you know, already know so much. You have known about yourself, you have known about everything finished. First of all, be free from the false pride.
Ono čega bi se trebalo prvo osloboditi je naš lažni ego, naša svijest.
False pride.
Naše uvjerenje znači da znamo sve. Mi u stvari znamo jako malo s našim limitiranim konceptom znanja, tako da bi prvo trebali napustiti taj osjećaj ponosa, lažnog ega i tako dalje.
See, usually the way we live our life, we try to conceive of our life, okay, is very limited, very casual type. Every day going on, continuing the same monotonous way, conventional way, within the same limit, thinking, I know it. Oh, this is it. Okay, that's the way I have to do that, finish. And this cyclic way, every day, we do not go beyond it. We do not go deeper than that. Do not try to understand deeper than that usual, casual, limited ways, stereotype ways. And we think, I know. Oh, it's okay. Then when the more problems come, we do not know how to handle it because we do not have the deeper knowledge, deeper concept of things.
Većina nas prolazi kroz život na jedan monotoni, uobičajeni način, ne zapitajući se, ne ulazeći u dubinu, tražeći neko dublje znanje. Ponekad radimo neke stvari što radimo inače i kažemo, pa to znam. I onda kad se pojave problemi, onda ne znamo kako rješavati probleme, jer nemamo to dubinsko znanje. Nismo navikli ići u dubinu.
First of all, we have to understand we know very little about everything, about myself, about my surroundings I am living in, and about my Supreme Creator. Little knowledge only.
Prvo što moramo shvatiti je da znamo jako malo o sebi, o našem okruženju i o stvoritelju.
I give you examples. There is a saying like philosopher's stone. See, a stone in the hand of a philosopher means so much. But a stone, simple stone in the hand of some small child, ignorant child or ordinary person, is a stone. Throw away.
Tako može Maharaja daje jedan primjer. Obično zna se govoriti o kamenom mudracu. Znači, kamen u ruci mudraca može značiti jako puno toga. Za razliku recimo od djeteta koje drži kamen ili neke obične osobe.
Everything as seen by a scientist, everything as they are seen by some philosophers and scientists, are much deeper and higher quality. But same things seen by ordinary people. This is it. Finish.
Obični ljudi ne vide stvari na isti način kao što ih vide znanstvenici, filozofi. Oni idu puno više u dubinu.
Okay. For example, anything. So, suppose there are many scientists are working in the field of geology, archaeology, or many things, physics, chemistry, biology. So, botanical science, many philosophers are also working in that field to realize deeper about them. But what's the real difference between the way ordinary people look at them, see them, and the way scientists or philosophers look at them? Very different from each other.
Ima jako puno, znači, znanstvenika iz različitih područja i oni gledaju na stvari potpuno drugačije nego obični ljudi.
Whereas the ordinary people will think, oh, I see, I have known it, this is it, finished. But the scientists will not give up. Scientists will go deeper within the field of geology or botanical science or whatever, physics, chemistry, biology, astronomical science. They won't give up. They will go deeper and higher. And they do discover the higher truths, higher realities. And we are receiving so much results of their discoveries. Had they related like ordinary people, I know, finish, then we would not have so much discovery, would not have the benefits of all the scientific discoveries. See, the realities are there, needs to be discovered, known more, and apply accordingly. Otherwise, even if they are there, still it's not there, absent for me because I don't know.
Za razliku od običnih ljudi koji vide neki predmet ili neku situaciju i kažu, pa to znam, ima jako puno, znači, znanstvenika različitih područja koji se specificiraju za određeno područje i onda idu sve dublje i dublje. I kako idu u dubinu, tako dolazi do otkrića. I nakon što ti znanstvenici otkriju različite istine koje postoje, većina nas dobija rezultate tih otkrića.
See, what to speak more of the realization of the supreme divine truth? You just take a handful of mud. To an ordinary people, it's just a mud, lump of mud, throw away. A scientist knows, philosopher knows, a whole book can be written on that handful of mud. A whole book can be written by analyzing the character, inner characteristics and texture and types of that handful mud, lump of mud. But for ordinary people, it's just a mud, throw away.
Tako imamo primjer, ako uzmemo običnu šaku zemlje, za obične ljude ona će biti samo zemlja, ništa drugo. Ali oni koji se bavi, znači sa geolozi, na primjer, oni mogu napisati čitav jedan esej o tome kakva je kvaliteta te zemlje, što se nalazi u njoj i tako dalje.
So a geologist, a scientist, just a scientist feels so much utility, to analyze into the character of the mud, to produce fertile soil, what is the character of the soil, what kind of ingredients it contains, like minerals and other stuffs, how that mud quality can be more fertile to produce more crops. So it has got more planning to how to utilize. See, so much knowledge and so much utility around a lump of mud can be there. But ordinary people cannot understand that. Although seeing the same mud, holding the same mud, relating to the same mud, seeing and living with the same mud, cannot connect to the higher or deeper nature of the mud with more utility, from the broader perspective. But if scientist and philosopher can do that and can get higher gain, can receive higher gain from that, even a lump of mud, then what to speak more of so many other more beneficial things in our life. If we can truly know about them, how to apply them favorably in the best of interest of our life, in connection with the divinity, how much happiness and fulfillment gain we can receive.
Ako sam dobro shvatio, slagate se o blatu, primjerenja riječ, znači vidimo da, znači, obična osoba opet gleda blato samo kao blato, no međutim geolog će pogledati to blato na jedan puno drugačiji, dublji način gledati će znači koliko ima minerala u tom blatu, kakva je vrsta zemlje u tom blatu, kako se ona može koristiti za poljoprivredu i tako dalje. I kad vidimo u principu na tako jednom jednostavnom primjeru, jedna, možemo reći običnog komada blata, koliko možemo dobiti koristi od dublje analize, onda se možemo samo zapitati koliko možemo dobiti dobrobiti ako se pokušamo povezati sa svevišnjom apsolutnom istinom. Koliko će to utjecati pozitivno na naš život i koliko ćemo realizacije imati od toga.
Let me describe in a simple way, coming back to the other point, how to derive happiness, solving the problems, some practical question of our life. Yeah.
Sad ćemo se vratiti na drugo pitanje, kako rješavati praktične probleme u našem životu.
Like, often we are faced with, we experience some problems just coming from nowhere. No planning, no expectation, just coming from almost nowhere.
Out of the blue, they say.
Yeah. Out of it is called adhidoivik or adhibhautik tap. So, now, some expert, knowledgeable people know how to avoid those problems. Just to let go, don't be attached, don't be involved with that. And, problems coming. Some way or other they avoid, overlook, don't bother about, okay? And then they don't get involved. But whereas other people, they get caught in that and they become involved in that. It's not their problem coming from environment. And they go on and on and on, cook more, continue more. It becomes more problem for them. But if you just know simply not to be attached, not to get entangled with that program, overlook and avoid, then no problem. Solution. Expertise required. Knowledge required. How to apply ourselves properly in relationship also required. That knowledge required how to apply, how to deal with it in the first place. Then problem is no problem. And I can make that problem more problem in my life when I get more involved with it. Go on and on and on.
Jedna od stvari koja se događa u našim životima je da nam se događaju problemi iz naše perspektive od nikuda. Ono što bi trebali raditi, odnosno osobe koje imaju jedno dublje znanje, da ne bi se trebali vezati, ne bi se trebali previše baviti s tim problemom, trebali bi ga jednostavno pustiti, jer ako se previše bavimo sa problemom, onda nema nikad kraja. Pojavit će se drugi problemi i tako dalje. Znači trebamo jednostavno naučiti ono što Maharaja prije govorio, dobiti znanje, implementirati ga, u ovom slučaju znači ne baviti se previše s problemom, pustiti ga i to je to.
Many of the problems we often are faced in our life, faced with in life, can be easily avoided, ignored. In the first place, there are some arts of living, okay, arts of dealing with them. That way we can just bring the solution, because problem cannot be staying for long. You know how to ignore it and go away from that negative energy and be more leaning towards more positive energy, world of positive energy. That way you can avoid.
Jedan način na koji možemo smanjiti ili potpuno riješiti probleme je taj da se jednostavno, da ga ignoriramo, da se maknemo od njega, to se zove, to je Maharaja nazvao umijeće življenja i na taj način problem će nestati.
And question may arise, but many problems coming from nowhere, but some of them are fatal problems. Even if we want to ignore, we cannot ignore. We are pulled into, by the power of the situation, we are pulled into the problem and suffer from that. How to solve that?
Postavlja se pitanje što je sa onim problemima koje ne možemo ignorirati, u koje smo uvučeni, kako s njima, kako njih riješiti.
Still, it is guided by the wise people, by the wise, realized souls. Guidance coming from the wise, realized souls in this way. In other words, the wise, realized souls are guiding us in a way that even if you are faced with some fatal problem, okay, dangerous something that you are pulled in, you cannot run away from that. You are compelled to be suffering. Then be don't be frustrated, be more intelligent, have self-control, try to have self-control, be intelligent, okay, and don't be deluded, don't let yourself be deluded and bewildered. Find out some ways, there must be some ways of solution to that. Keep your brain cool, although you are getting so nervous, but still try your best to find out some ways of this solution. It will be there. And catch that ways of the solution, follow that way, and try to solve as much as possible. You can solve it to a great extent. But if you just simply become frustrated and disappointed, be bewildered, without doing anything to really solve it, problem will be more in your life. Be intelligent, how to handle it.
Ako se suočavamo s nekim problemom koji može biti potencijalno vrlo ozbiljan, opasan, i ako smo uvučeni u taj problem, ako ga ne možemo izbjeći, onda bi trebali nastojati ponašati se, znači, na način da nam ostane miran, da koristimo našu inteligenciju, da pokušamo naći načina da najbolje djelujemo u toj situaciji, i iako nam se ta situacija ako nam se taj problem može činiti jako težak ili nerješiv, sigurno postoji način da ga riješimo na najbolji način. Znači, trebalo bi djelovati najbolje što možemo kako bi se to riješilo.
For example, like we find in the field of elite commando training, whereas the ordinary persons will be collapsing, will get nervous, to deal with the war situation. But the elite commandos are trained in such a way, at the moment of the danger, great danger of life and death, they keep their brain cool and they go on moving without getting nervous, okay, and solve the problem and win the battle. But the ordinary people who are not trained, who do not know how to do, who do not have the knowledge and training, they will simply collapse. They will die. They will be victim to the problem. Whereas the elite commandos, they don't let themselves be victim to the problematic situation. They go through and solve it and win it. There are many such examples. What makes the difference?
Tako imamo primjer elitnih komandosa. Za većinu onih običnih ljudi, problemi s kojima se suočavaju elitni komandosi su nerješivi. Znači, obična osoba kada bude suočena s takvom životnom opasnošću će kolabirati, postati nervozna i biti će, pasti će kao žrtva tog problema. No, međutim, elitni komandosi, pošto su tako istrenirani, oni će naći načina da prevaziđu, da riješe taj problem i pobijedit će na kraju te bitke.
So, Supreme Lord says, the very realized, wise devotees say, even at the moment, in the situation where you are faced with some danger, turmoil in your life, so much problem, keep your brain cool. Try to derive some superior, deeper ability from your own super soul, from the level of your own super soul. You have it, just you have to discover. While you are engaged in prayer for receiving the higher power, of the higher grace of the divine to help you, and while in the unification of both, by the combination of both, while you are deriving this some deeper power, higher power from your within, okay, from the level of soul, with the self, in the form of self-confidence and proper faith, self-confidence, and full faith in supreme divine truth that some help will come from that. Then you go forward. Many problems will no more remain as problems in your life. They will all get solved because you are waking up, approaching with the higher power to overpower the problems, overpower the power of the problems.
Stoga svevišnja istina kaže ako se nađemo u teškim trenucima, izazovnim trenucima, s jedne strane bi trebali pronaći našu unutarnju snagu da bi se suočili sa problemom, a s druge strane trebali bi uputiti iskrenu molitvu Svevišnjoj božanskoj osobi da nam pomogne u rješavanju problema. Ako radimo te dvije stvari, sigurno će doći će snaga da riješimo taj problem i kada se uzdignemo na taj viši nivo, kada dobijemo tu snagu, taj problem se više neće pokazivati kao problem, ako uopće još postoji.
That's how the great lives do. When you look into the great lives, we see their life is not filled with only success and success, happiness, happiness from the beginning to end. No. They also pass through great difficulties. They also pass through great difficulties and turmoils in life, but finally they become victorious. They pass through, see, and all those difficulties, past difficulties in life become ornamental qualifications for them, heroic qualifications, because they passed through and now glorious with the victory. Successful person, instead of being collapsed, instead of being victim to the difficulties, they made the difficulty victimized. Before, with their superior power, superior ability, also possible.
Vidimo iz života slavnih osoba da njihovi životi nisu bili samo puni sreće i blagostanja, nego da su se morali suočavati sa velikim teškoćama. I ono što u stvari njih kvalificira kao izvanredne osobe, slavne osobe, je upravo ta mogućnost, sposobnost da pobjede što god im se nalaze u životu. I u principu ti problemi koji su se pojavljivali u njihovim životima sad postoje ukrasi. I na taj način ih slavimo.
So the great lives, the exalted pure devotees are always leaving behind a great message for us, giving us a great message. If we can do, you can also do it. Follow in the same footsteps, follow in the same line, the way we receive success in our life, passing through and solving many problems. Ultimately, we have been filled with the glories of success, shining with the glories of success. So, it is a proven way. We have realized it through our experience. You follow that, you can also do it. If we can do from the ordinary level, if we can become extraordinary, you can also be extraordinary, following in the same line. Come.
Isto tako, ako vidimo primjer naših duhovnih učitelja, naših ačarija, možemo pratiti ili pokušati slijediti način njihovog života. Oni nam kažu, oni nam govore svojim životom, svojim djelima, svojim spisima. Ako smo mi to mogli napraviti, možeš i ti. Znači, za nas bi bilo najbolje da slijedimo stope naših duhovnih učitelja i ačarija i dostignemo isti cilj kao što su i oni dostigli.
Simply speaking, sometimes we see a person, something happened very wrong in his life. He's feeling very, very sad and heartbroken. If some ordinary friend comes to pacify, he will do in a way, "What happened to you? I see, I'm so sorry to hear that. I truly sympathize with you. It is very bad, it's so cruel, all this." Good gentlemanly way of pacifying, but it's not the solution. He's not bringing real solution to his friend's life by speaking in that only negative, sad way.
Ako se nalazimo u nekom teškom trenutku i ako nam dođe neki naš prijatelj, obični prijatelj i pokušava nas tješiti sa riječima razumijem, nalaziš se u jako teškoj situaciji, to je jako tužno, život je vrlo okrutan. Na taj način, ako tako govori u jednom jednom tužnim tonom, pomirljivo negativnom, može nam donekle pomoći, ali u stvari ne doprinosi rješenju naših problema.
But what a high class, truly knowledgeable friend will do, as he comes in contact with him and comes to know about something greatly wrong happened, understand? He will pacify, say, just try to forget. Okay, it was supposed to be happening, it happened, finish, it's over now. Let be gone, by be gone. Okay, you have no reason to stay with that. Come, there is a huge world of positive energy waiting for you. Come away from that world of the negative energy. Come out of that. Come. There's so many beautiful things are happening in our life, in this world. Okay, beautiful creation of the beautiful Lord. Okay, so you could not do anything. It was supposed to be happening, it happened. Don't be clinging on to that. Forget. Just forget and forgive, come away. I take you to another beautiful world. And he takes that friend in a very joyful, positive world filled with positive energy, and he forgets pains and all frustration, feels again happy. That's the real help, that's the real solution. Not, oh, it happened, I feel so sorry, pacifying this and that, and making him more involved with that sadness. It needs to be cured, not to be continued. Okay, so while we are faced with some negative things in our life, there's a way out from that also. Somehow or other, with higher ability, we should just try to be detach ourselves from that world of negative energy and be associating with the world of positive energy, which is also there, huge world of positive energy. Many things happening positively, happily, joyfully. Be associated with the world of divine energy. Overlook, ignore that. One has to learn the art, higher yogic art of living a higher life, higher spiritual art of living a higher life, dissociating with the problems, unnecessary things.
Pravi prijatelj će nam doći i možda će nas malo tješiti kao što je prvi radio, ali pravi prijatelj će nam reći, gledaj, ono što se dogodilo se, trebalo se dogoditi, nemoj se više vezati za to, neka prošlost bude prošlost, dođi sa mnom, ima jako puno lijepih pozitivnih stvari, možemo uživati u toj prekrasnoj kreaciji svevišnje božanske osobe na jedan veseli način, u pozitivnoj energiji. Znači pravi prijatelj će nas izvući iz te negativne energije i pomoći će nam da se asociramo, da se družimo sa pozitivnom energijom.
Just I give you some examples. There you see some person very depressed, very unhappy, always living in a gloomy way, in gloomy situation, drug situation, in melancholia, depression. Besides gentle sympathizing, bring him out of that person. That will be the real help. Okay, by exciting him, inspiring him in a positive way, talking positive to him. Okay, oh, it happened, it's nothing. Come, there's a huge, big world of the positive attainment and gain for you. Okay, bring him out, help him, okay, to come out of that and make him associated with the world of the higher energy, beautiful energy, and beautiful other higher lifestyle. Then that person will be cured. Automatically, he doesn't have to take medicine or this and that unless some fatal cases. So, automatically be helped and cured in that way. Just changing the way, changing the tuning from negative into positive, changing the channel from bad channel into good channel. There can be many bad channels in the TV. Okay, just change the channel. Watch the good channels. So in this I change the frequency. problems is solved in many places. It requires some lights of knowledge how to do that. Requires some experience of learning the arts. Okay, learning, it requires the knowledge, the ability to learn the higher arts of living a higher life. How to disassociate ourselves with the world of negative energy, effects of negative energy, and be closely associating with the world of positive energy. It's there. We can solve many problems in that way in our life.
Ako smo imali slučaj sa jednom osobom koja je bila u melankoliji, depresiji, imala je problema sa upotrebom droga i takvoj osobi u principu treba prići na način da je treba animirati, treba je pokrenuti u jednom pozitivnom smjeru, pokazati joj nešto pozitivno. I na taj način ako je uključimo neke pozitivne stvari, ako joj damo mogućnost da, kako kaže Maharaja, promijeni program na svojoj televiziji, automatski će ta osoba biti izliječena. Čak je možda neće trebati niti neki lijekovi, osim ako nije neki teški slučaj. Jel? Tako da jako puno problema u našem životu možemo riješiti ako promijenimo našu frekvenciju života, ako pokušamo dostići taj jedan viši standard življenja, viši standard života, druga frekvencija života, pozitivna strana života. Jako puno problema može nestati.
Sometimes I also experience in my own life, sitting somewhere, some negative thoughts came, thoughts of some material problems came in my mind from the past. Okay, some in the form of memories. I mean, it's not directly connected to my own personal life, but from the situation. Okay, sometimes some situations of some negative problems I had to pass through this material world. So, some memories, negative thoughts, memory, all of a sudden coming from nowhere, appearing in my mind. And then what is happening, I can see the change. As soon as some negative thoughts of the negative memories from the past situation coming, it's disturbing my mind. It is simply disturbing the peace of my mind. Okay, peace of my mind, satisfaction of my mind. And then that disturbance also extending through my body. At some point, okay, I cannot fall asleep peacefully, cannot sleep peacefully, okay, feeling a bit disturbed, irritated, okay. It already happened in the past. It is a situational thing, okay. But because it is coming, because I had to pass through how I passed through that negative situation in the past for a while, okay, now it is coming back in my memory and it's now kind of is flowing in my thought. So unnecessarily that is disturbing me. I have no connection at the present life with that. Coming from nowhere, floating from the past, coming. And then, even though I have no direct connection with that, no direct relation with that now, because I am living in the present, but still that started disturbing my mind through the influence of that past negative thought. And then that is extending, affecting the body, okay, disturbing my sleep, making my mind disturbed. As soon as I just talk to myself, what is this? What is this? Why am I allowing all these thoughts to happen in my brain? Okay? Why am I simply letting them flow in my brain? Okay, allowing it to happen. It all happened in the past, some situational problem, this and that. Let it go. Just forget. I laughed at myself. I just cutely laughed at myself. What am I doing? I'm thinking of some unnecessary stuffs, useless stuffs in the past. This is mundane life, it is natural. Good and bad always remaining, negative and positive. Why I am thinking of this? Just forget about it. Just forget. It's so unnecessary rubbish stuff or whatever, unnecessary stuff, garbage. I just forgot and engaged myself, okay, in a very positive thoughts and in positive thinking and positive, in some positive matters of responsibilities, Okay. And positive aspects of my service responsibilities and other life responsibilities, doing something very positive and high class. Then at some point I just forgot that. And I found happier, more satisfied. Okay, now I feel better. I can peacefully sleep. Just let them go, throw them away. See, it's art. But if I continue to be living with that, remembering these negative things from the past, then I will be more entangled. In spite of that, I have no suffering of that at the present life. I'm inviting it more. Just know how to say goodbye, let it go, throw them away. I have nothing to do with you. Okay, you are completely irrelevant and unnecessary. And be associated with the positive thoughts, world of positive thoughts, positive feelings, positive engagement. Solved. You feel better. That's the way we also need to take care of our life, art of living.
Ja miram primjer iz svojeg osobnog iskustva. Jednom su mi u došle neke misli o jednom događaju u kojima nisam bio osobno direktno u situaciji koja je bila problematična, ali nekako se ona nekako je prošla kroz mene. I ne znam iz kojeg razloga, te neke misli o tome kako se ta situacija odvija su došle u moj I nakon određenog vremena te su mi misli počele raditi probleme. Nisam mogao normalno zaspati, mi je bio uznemiren. I onda sam shvatio da jednostavno moram pustiti te negativne misli. Uključio sam se u svoje dužnosti na pozitivan način i jednostavno sam zaboravio na to što se dogodilo. Tako da moramo naučiti da te negativne misli jednostavno moramo otpustiti. Moramo ih otpustiti i tada nam neće raditi problem.
See, as soon as you switch from negative into positive, you are feeling better. It is solved. You are feeling much better and happier and more satisfied and feeling more positive energy to do something positive. You know, as you switch, one has to know how to switch from negative into positive, from bad or unhealthy stuffs into the healthy, positive stuffs.
Moramo naučiti kako pustiti taj prekidač da se prebacimo iz negativne u pozitivne vibracije, u pozitivne misli.
See, we often, out of some ignorance, because we are living in fool's paradise many times out of ignorance, we often give priority and importance to all the unnecessary negative stuffs and get involved and think over and cry, feel sad. They're nothing, so unnecessary garbage stuff from my life. They've got nothing to do positive in my life, so say goodbye and associate with invite the positive things in your life in relation to the Supreme Divine. Then, problem solved, you find you're discovering higher happiness, higher satisfaction, divine satisfaction.
Jedna od imena za svoj svijet je raj za budale, zato što većina nas ima tu inklinaciju da se bavimo stvarima koje su nebitne i razmišljamo o njima.
Sam negativne, da, kao rekao je negativne i nebitne, da se fokusiramo na negativno stalno.
I ako razmišljamo previše o njima, onda ćemo se opet zaplesti u taj vrtlog u koji ne možemo izaći. Jednostavno trebamo naučiti, znači, biti pozitivni, zanemariti ovo što je nebitno, a ako uspijemo se usredotočiti na naš odnos sa božanstvenim, tada ćemo, znači, doživjeti sreću, pravu sreću.
So Srimad Mahaprabhu, back to the point, Srimad Mahaprabhu, Shukadev Goswami, they are pointing out to us. See, try to realize in the process, okay, in the cultivation or in the process of receiving self-realization. In other words, in the process of realizing yourself, you understand this truth in the first place. You are spirit, soul, you are not the body. When you are dying, your material body is dying, but actual you is not dying. The actual you, real you, are not dying. Your material body is dying, like changing the dress, changing from one dress and being into another dress, like that. So if you can contemplate on this truth that you are spirit soul, you remain eternally immortal. It can never be killed by death. Only your material body dies. So when you know that actually you are always living, not dying, at some point through the meditation of that, you receive some state of self-realization that you won't be fearing your death anymore. Even death comes, you know, I am not dying, my body is dying. It's nothing to go through this transition period. It's nothing. It's a minimum thing.
Gospodin Četanja i Šukadev Gosvami su nam stoga uputili ovu prvu, znači, poantu, to je da mi nismo ovo materijalno tijelo, mi smo duhovna duša. Duhovna duša ne može umriti. Jedino što može umriti to je ovo materijalno tijelo. Stoga, ako doista realiziramo to što nam je gospodin Četanja rekao, poručio, ako doista smo to realizirali, u jednom trenutku ćemo se prestati bojati smrti, zato što smo realizirali da smo vječni. Duša je vječna, stoga mi ne možemo umreti.
There is a high class yogic way of having such contemplation and deep meditation on this truth. I am Atma. I am divine spirit soul, unit of divine energy, immortal divine energy. I am a spirit soul. You become contemplating on that, meditating on that at some point. Through that, your positive meditation, you can actually realize, start having the realization, yes, I am Atma, I am soul, I never die. When one is situated on that state of consciousness, on that state of self-realization, that person is never afraid of bodily death. Never. But why the ordinary person is so afraid, fearful, I'm going to die, oh my God, what will happen to me? I'm going to die. No shelter, doesn't know where to go, what to do. But for a yogi, high-class yogi, situated on that higher self-consciousness, self-awareness, that I am none other than the particle of divine energy, spirit, soul, angsha of the Paranga Brahma. I'm a part of the energy of the Paranga Brahma. I never die. My body dies. Never fearful of death. It doesn't matter whether the body stays or goes. Actually, such state of realization can be attained, and such happiness, satisfaction, going beyond the fear of death, is actually possible, realistically possible.
Postoji yogistički način da realiziramo da smo duhovna duša. Način da meditiramo, ja sam Atma, odnosno duhovna duša, ja sam dio energije svevišnje božanske osobe i doista je moguće da realiziramo takvu svjesnost i kada ako doista realiziramo da smo duhovna duša, onda će automatski posljedica biti da se ne bojimo smrti. Za običnog čovjeka je uvijek strahovito uznemirujuće kad se približava trenutak smrti, ne zna gdje će ići, što će se dogoditi s njim, ali za osobu koja je na toj razini parabrahmana, za nju ne postoji, znači, ta anksioznost, ne postoji ta tiskoba, jer on je već realizirao svoju svjesnost da je duhovna duša.
See, that's what Srila Shukadev Goswami asked King Parikshita at the end of Srimad Bhagavata narrations. How you are feeling, O king, O noble king, Maharaj Parikshit, how you are feeling now? He replied, by your grace, now I have attained the level over death. I have attained the consciousness, level of consciousness above the death. So even if Takshaka comes and bites me, it doesn't make or break with me. It doesn't make any difference. It cannot touch my real self at all. It will only touch my dress. Okay.
Zato je na kraju Srimad Bhagavatama Šukadev Gosvami pitao Maharaja Parikshita, kako se sad osjećaš nakon što sam ti ovo sve rekao, nakon što sam ti izrecitirao cijeli Bhagavatam? Maharaja Pariksit je rekao, sada se osjećam prekrasno i ne bojim se smrti. Postignuo sam svjesnost da se ne bojim smrti. Bez obzira što se dogodi s ovim tijelom, ja ću ostati u toj svjesnosti svjetla.
See, King Parikshita actually, in fact, had the power of nullifying that curse, Brahmashap, that curse, that his material body will die by the biting of Takshaka. But he didn't want to nullify. He had that power to nullify that curse. Okay, he is a pure devotee, but he didn't do it. But rather utilized that chance of 7 days to invite Srimad Bhagavatam, appearing revelation of Srimad Bhagavatam. If this would not happen, that incident would not happen, that he was going to die within 7 days, Shukadeva would not appear. Spontaneously, by the will of Lord, he would not be appearing in King Parikshit's assembly, and Srimad Bhagavata Pravachanam would not take place. So there was some purpose behind. There's a dramatic purpose that child of that son of that rishi, out of anger, gave him cursed him that he would die within 7 days. A dramatic play. He had the power to nullify that curse, invalidate, but he didn't do it.
Maharaja Pariksit,
He was so fearless king, he did not do that.
Maharaja Pariksit je bio proklet od strane sina jednog rišija da će umreti za 7 dana. I iako je Maharaja Pariksit bio čisti bhakta gospodina, i iako je imao moć da poništi tu kletvu, on to nije učinio. Zašto? Zbog toga što smo na taj način dobili mogućnost, odnosno oni dobili mogućnost da Šukadeva Gosvami kroz 7 dana citira Srimad Bhagavatam. I na taj način za dobrobit Maharaja Pariksita i svih način obznani, znači prekrasne priče o gospodinu.
Back to the point, to explain in a very simple way, sometimes we see in the internets, we see some of the pranks, heavy pranks being done to the relatives or friends. Suppose somebody is sleeping. In the sleeping mode, they are bringing some artificial snake, artificial tiger, artificial scorpions and putting on their body, on the mouth, body. Okay, pranking. And
They're being really?
Yeah.
I mean, all fake. Fake artificial snake, fake snakes.
Tiger is big, I mean, how can they bring artificial?
Maybe, okay, yes,
Really?
keeping, he's sleeping. That person is sleeping, just putting in front of putting a tiger in front on some place. And then at some point, somehow waking him or her up. And seeing, immediately going mad and like as soon as seeing a tiger or snake, all this stuff, oh, what is happening? And becoming so fearful and afraid for some moment. Oh my God, trying to save life, in great danger, because he did not know what. All of a sudden woke up from the sleep and seeing all this big tiger, an artificial snake is there, some scorpion. Then it takes a moment to realize, oh, it's an illusion. It's not real. They are not real.
Sometimes they jump crazy.
They are not real. Sometimes these days it's true. In a mechanical way, they spring in such a way that it can jump and all, it can be active also. They use that kind of thing. And then a snake is active over him. Okay, a tiger is almost coming to bite. So now, for some moments, become so nervous and become so afraid. Then, within a while, realize, oh, these are all fake things. These are nasty friends. These are disgusting friends doing such pranks on me. See, as long as he was not realizing these are all illusory problems, he or she was relating it like real problem, becoming truly afraid, directly affected out of illusion. But as soon as illusion is gone, that victim of the pranks the person to whom the pranks was being done, as soon as he realizes, oh, these are fake things created by him, okay, that disgusting friend, him to frighten me, then the problem is gone. Then no more fear from the tiger or snake or crocodile coming to bite and all these, and then feel satisfied or relieved. Then now looking at with fiery looks, giving the fiery looks to that friend who did that pranks, chasing for him, after him, attacking him in some way. I could have died. You frightened me so much, I could have died. Why am I giving such examples? Why am I using such simple examples to differentiate? Many of the problems in our life, illusion, created in a more illusory way, because we are relating from a limited relative state, problematic state of illusion, we are thinking they are real problems. And feeling so involved and depressed and sad and attached, we are entertaining it out of illusion. As soon as we know they are fake things, like fake pranks, there are no real problems. Oh, why am I allowing myself to be victim to all this, be affected by all this? They are nothing. Okay, I have got nothing to do with that. They're all fake. Immediately, with the removal of the illusion, with the dissipation, how do you call dissipation or removal, destruction of the illusory concept, problem is solved. Like as soon as you wake up from the nightmare state and the dream, problem is solved. That's a higher art of living spiritual life through self-realizations in relation to God realization. We can understand these are no real problems, illusions. For nothing I am taking the problems in my life and suffering from sickness. As soon as I wake up from the nightmare, no more tiger, I am being attacked by tiger or dacoits, I am being killed, nightmare is gone, I woke up, all problems are gone. I see myself in a liberated plane of higher liberation, divine liberation through higher self-realization in relation to higher God realization. See? Essence and synopsis, I know.
U Indiji se često znaju događati razne nepodopštine koje priređuju prijatelji. Ja je osobno nisam vidio, moram priznati, ali ovoga...
Nije samo Indiji,
Ja sam
Europi
imao na primjeru.
Prvo ćemo pokazati, da. Ja nisam vidio da tigra neko stavlja u Europu, dobro. Znači, uglavnom Maharaja priča o tome, znači da ponekad...
Let him explain.
Da ponekad prijatelji kao nepodopštinu, dok neko spava, stave ili tigra, ili umjetnog tigra, umjetnu zmiju, škorpiona. I one znaju biti stvarno jako autentični, znaju biti mogu se mehanički kretati kao da skaču i tako dalje. I onda se dogodi u principu da ta osoba koja spava, koja se namjestila ta nepodopština, da probudi se i pogleda, joj, vidim tigra, vidim škorpiona, šta će se dogoditi. No međutim, kada ta osoba shvati da oni nisu pravi, onda postane mirna i postane svjesna da su te sve igračke iluzija. Slično tome Maharaja objašnjava da u principu kad živimo jedan običan život, bavimo se sa stvarima koje nisu toliko bitne, ali mi ih smatramo jako bitnim jer smo pod utjecajem iluzije našim ograničenom svjesnošću. A kada dobijemo to jedno više znanje, jedno više shvaćanje, više svjesnost, više umijeće življenja, onda znači svi ti problemi koji su nas prije mučili neće više biti problemi. Doći ćemo do jednog nivoa oslobođenja, više svjesnosti.
See, you're seeing a very bad dream, nightmare. In the dream, you're about to have heart failure out of fear, attacked by tiger or lion, somebody killing you, trying to run away. If some knife or layman, because you're crying, somebody is crying out or crying and screaming, oh, bring some weapon, save me from the tiger, lion, these gundas attacked me, killing me, save me. If some layman tries to find out some weapon, okay, how to help him with the weapons and all, that will not be real help. But the intelligent person will simply come and wake him up. Simply wake him up from that nightmare. As soon as he is waking up from the nightmare is no more nightmare experience, because he already detached. He is already liberated from that plane of nightmare experience. Now he woke up in some high class happy plane. Everything is normal and happy. And he will understand, oh, I was dreaming. It's no real problem. No real problem. No tiger, lion attacked me, or somebody trying to kill me, or I'm falling from the mountain. Okay, all in the dream. I see. Then he becomes so happy and peaceful. Problem solved. But if he continues to live in the dream, big problem. He can even have heart failure. So much so, although there's no real problem. Illusion. So often we also are faced with some problems in our material life like that. It's not that potent, that powerful. If we know how to deal with them, handle them, okay, how to ignore and solve that, resolve it, they are nothing before our superior superpower, superior ability, before our superior ability from our plane of super soul. So, art of living, higher living through higher self-realization. When one is passing through the experience of nightmare, wake him up. Then, okay, get him out of that negative world. Bring him to the positive world. Wake him up on the positive plane of the living. Problem solved. He is happy.
Ako neko, znači, doživljava, ima kako se kaže nightmare na hrvatskom?
Nightmare.
Ako neko ima noćne more, onda u tom trenutku kad je u toj svjesnosti, odnosno kad je u noćnim morama, može misliti da će ga tigar pojesti, ili da će ga lav pojesti, ili da će ga neko ubiti sa nožem. Takvoj osobi koja se nalazi u takvoj svjesnosti, ako neki prijatelj dođe koji nema uzvišeno znanje, ako mu želi dati nož da se obrani od tog lava ili tigra ili gunde, odnosno razbornika, to mu neće puno pomoći. No, međutim, ono što će takvoj osobi pomoći jest da ga neko probudi iz te noćne more i automatski će svi problemi nestati. Znači ono što nam je potrebno nam je to više znanje, više umijeće življenja, više svjesnosti. I na taj način svi naši problemi, materijalni, s kojima se suočavamo svakidašnje, će ili biti puno manji ili će nestati.
Okay, I can go on and on. Any relevant query? Any related or unrelated query to these topics?
Da li ima neko pitanje u svezi lekcije ili nevezano za lekciju?
1, 2, 3, the same time 4. So I did not see you. So I saw first, okay, I take your question.
Evo, Ranga Devi.
Hare Krishna.
Last time I have seen you, I think last year or 2 years ago when you were here.
Last year, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Last year. My memory
Zadnji puta sam te vidjela prije 2 godine.
So last time I had asked you about bhajan, what is bhajan, and you had given me very valuable instructions.
It took place in their house, yes?
Yes.
They were praying. I remember.
Zadnji puta kada sam te vidjela, pitala sam te nešto u svezi bhajana i dao si mi jednu jako vrijednu instrukciju.
I took the instructions upon my head, so I went to Vrindavan.
Uzela sam instrukciju k svojem srcu i otišla sam u Vrindavan.
And I had find out what kind of bhajan my Gurudev wanted me to do. But in Vrindavan I got very, very sick. And it was such an arrangement that I could never go out of Vrindavan for nothing, only Seva Kunj. And one time I managed to go to Radha Kund and Shyamakund.
Međutim, kad sam došla u Vrindavana, ja sam se jako razbolila i dogodilo se to da nisam mogla izaći iz Vrindavana, osim jedan puta kad sam išla na Radha Kund iznad Seva Kunča.
So I came back home, very confused, not knowing what to do next, because...
Stoga sam se vratila doma i ja ću tebe prosim malo prekidati jer mi je tako puno lakše. Stoga vratila sam se doma, vrlo zbunjena.
That level of bhajan actually acquires a very high level of sadhusanga. And for that sadhusanga, I would need to be in that holy place, Vrindavan, Navadvip.
Za takvu vrstu bhađana kako sam ja htjela, za nju treba vrlo kvalificirana sadhusanga, odnosno druženje sa svetim osobama ili u Vrindavanu ili u Navadvipu.
So, because of this confusion, I was praying and I had a dream.
Zbog te zbunjenosti koja se vukla u mene, molila sam se i doživjela sam san, dobila sam san.
And in the dream, that my mother, I'm basically here tied to my mother, she will go to the old folks' home and I will get cancer. And that will be my ticket out of Vrindavan.
U tom snu doživjela sam da, odnosno, pričinilo mi se da će moja majka otići u dom za starije nemoćne osobe, a ja ću dobiti rak i da će to biti moja ulaznica da odem odavde.
And everything came true. So I was very happy to hear.
Sve se to dogodilo i jako sam sretan za to.
My mother, she got admitted to old folks home.
Moju su majku smjestili u dom za starije nemoćne osobe.
And I got from the doctor that I have cancer.
A dobila sam dijagnozu da imam rak.
Now I'm crying, but I'm happy.
You have got a cancer, say doctor said.
I can go to Vrindavan.
She says she got a cancer, no?
Yeah. No, nobody can stop me now. So,
Okay, I understand. Please don't be...
just one desire.
Yes.
Please bless me so that the way to Vrindavan is open. So that
I
can
pray.
be Vaishnava Sangha. I have realized that to do that kind of bhajan, one has to follow very strictly the first shloka of Srila Rupa Goswami from Upanishadamrita. Please bless me so that I can do that.
I will pray. I will pray for your good soul. Pray for so that you receive blessings from the Guru Varga. So I can pray for that. Okay, so translate. Praying that she is asking me for blessings, I pray.
Ranga Devi ima rak, jako teško da čujem osobno. I molila je Maharaja za blagoslove da je put u Vrindavan bude otvoren. Maharaja obećao da će se moliti za njezinu dobru dušu.
Okay, in connection with what you have just told me that you got a cancer, please don't be feeling much sad.
Onoga što si rekla da si dobila, molim te, nemoj se osjećati previše žalosti.
Talk to your mind. I know you are already, but it's my duty to tell you more, advise you more, that be talking to your mind, make yourself understand that we are all going to die one day, today or tomorrow or day after tomorrow. All of us are going to leave this planet, leave this material body, sooner or later. So, it's not a big thing, like the way, follow the way of Parikshit Maharaj, King Parikshita. That, okay.
Ono što bih ti ja poručio, znam da to već i radiš, probaj razgovarati sa svojim umom. Ono što svi mi u principu znamo, to je da mi moramo prije ili kasnije napustiti ovaj svijet. Nitko od nas ne može ostati ovdje vječno.
So, bodily death is inevitable for all of us. So it's something taken for granted. It's something we all accept. So only some difference of time. Somebody will live earlier, someone later. Someone will have difficult death, some may have some more natural type of death without much pain, without taking much pain. That can be some difference, but all are dying. Ultimately all have to accept that fact, that reality of death. So why should we be extra worried thinking about our bodily death? If we feel sad for that, no need for that. Focus in a more positive way, with positive spirit, absorb more in bhajan, again knowing your spirit self, your spirit soul, that will be staying forever. It will never die. It will be staying forever. And as soon as it gets liberated from your material bodily existence, it will go close to Krishna. In connection with Krishna, it will be placed in connection with Krishna according to your capacity of the bhajana. So, when we think about that reality, there is no real deep reason to worry around this, but only praying to God to give us the ability to tolerate the pain of cancer, the sickness, and somehow handle it, okay, and absorb in bhajan. That's all, okay.
I'm not worried about cancer, I'm just worried that maybe some obstacle can come on the way to bhajan.
No.
This is the only thing I'm worried about.
Okay. You attune yourself in such a way, those obstacles cannot create obstacles on your way. Mostly through meditation, smaranam. While you find yourself physically unqualified to be engaging in service activities, I repeat, while you see you are not able to physically do things, you can still do through thoughts, contemplation. Okay, smaranam, you can be hearing, sravanam, you can be chanting according to your capacity, sravanam, kirtanam, and also smaranam, meditation. Okay, you can be absorbed in some higher devotional contemplations, divine contemplations in your mind. In that way, you can be living in the world of some bhajana activity, more spiritual way, through more subjective way, on subjective level of consciousness, rather than even when your body is unable to work out things in an objective material way. Okay, so your bhajana way, world of bhajana cannot be really obstructed. Don't let the objective difficulties come on your way to obstruct your bhajana. Okay, you can be doing in mind and your higher spirit through the contemplation, through the higher thoughts, contemplations, meditations, smaranam. Also, hear the lectures. Harikatha as much as possible, always hearing. And sing some glories of the Lord. You know, you will have those abilities of hearing, of speaking, of thinking. So be hopeful, be optimistic, and be hopeful. Be in a positive frame of mind, happy. I can do it. Yes, do the bhajana.
Thank you so much for your blessings.
Is it required to be translated?
Treba prevesti ovo što je Maharaja rekao.
Yes, the one.
Treba biti pozitivan u tom trenutku, jer smrt tijela je neizbježna. Pokušati ostati miran. Biti sretan ako je moguće.
Židati se u bhađanu i u
šravanam kirtanam. Čak i ako fizički ne možemo raditi neke stvari, uvijek postoji mogućnost, znači da u umu mantramo, pjevamo.
Slušamo lekcije.
Pjevamo i sjećamo se slava Gospodina. Tako da, iako smo možda u fizičkom problemu, opet možemo znači raditi našu sebu.
Sometimes I saw some of the pure devotees almost bedridden.
Neki puta sam vidio
In so much,
koji su nisu mogli ustati
or bedridden for years and having some physical problems, pains here and there and all, and being treated by doctors and devotees. They're nice devotees, some acharya. And then, when I went to see, have darshana paying pranam, how are you doing, Maharaj? Asked, how are you doing? I am doing very fine. Answer, although some physical problems are detected, but he is managing in a smiling way. I am doing okay. I am okay, fine. A little bit here and there. I'm doing okay. How are you? Chanting Harinam in mind, Maha Mantra. Sometimes speaking little Harikatha to the disciples. In spite of physical he knows how to ignore. He's not bothering about this pain, that pain, this pain, getting indifferent. He got that ability. Body is doing body's function, sickness is doing sickness function, I am doing my own function. That's the motivations, that's the way.
Maharaja ima priliku biti na daršanu, susresti ste sa velikim baktama koji su imali određeni fizički problema, nisu mogli ustati iz kreveta i bilo je jako puno drugih bakta koji su ih služili i on bi došao i pitao tog baktu, znači, kako si Maharaja? Kaže, a Maharaja bi rekao, ja sam jako dobro, kako si ti? Znači, iako je bilo očito da je osoba, da je bakta u pun bolova i da tijelo ima svoju funkciju i tako dalje, on je naučio ignorirati, znači da bez obzira što se događa njegovom tijelu, on ima svoju sadhanu, on je čenta, on je pjeva sveto ime i tako dalje.
What I noticed in him, that kind of pure devotee, is managing himself to stay happy, managing to keep himself happy, in spite of some old age problems, some bodily pains here and there, not paying a big attention and importance to all that, just ignoring. He knows the art of simply ignoring them, not paying attention. He is living in another world, another state of consciousness, feeling happy. And the mood is that body is doing body's function. I have nothing to do with that. Okay, I am doing my own things now, doing bhajana and staying happy and going on for 1 year, long time, and then disappearing, departing from the world. See.
I ono što sam primijetio kod te osobe je da bez obzira na te poteškoće koje je imao, kroz koje je prolazio sa tijelom, uvijek je uspio ostati sretan. I jednostavno imao je jednu drugačiju svjesnost i žive u jednom drugom svijetu, tijelo radi svoje, ja radim svoje. I nakon mjesec dana je otišao iz ovog svijeta.
The setting before us a good example, educating us with a good example. Look, how to meet this sort of situation. Again, how to meet this kind of situation, that of physical problems, pains and all, but still how to maintain state of peace and happiness, and be absorbed in bhajana, life, ignoring all these physical difficulties, all these things. And they are very successfully doing it because they are qualitatively different. The devotees of higher quality, so teaching us with the examples of their own examples. Maybe they could have departed very soon by their willpower, but for some purpose of teaching us how to take such situation in a devotee's life without being disturbed. Okay, faced with the problem, physical problem, without getting involved with it, and cultivate some ability, cultivate a special ability to ignore them, not to bother about them, and be engaging in your own bhajana activity. Okay, so they're teaching us.
Prekrasan primjer koji poučava nas kako bi trebali funkcionirati u tom trenutku. Osoba se nalazi u takvoj situaciji i iako je možda mogao otići i ranije s ovog svijeta, on je ostao ovdje da nas poučava, da svojim primjerom pokaže kako se moramo nositi s tom situacijom. Kako ostati neuznemirenog uma i sretan.
Yes, because they are more self-realized. Whereas the ordinary people will be complaining this, that, all the time, so disturbed, complaining, why it's happening, crying, I don't want to live my life anymore, I want to, get out, I cannot tolerate anymore. That will be ordinary people's temperament. But a high-class realized soul's temperament, the temperament of the higher realized souls, wise person, devotees, another way, transcending the ordinary level. You are going? Oh.
Maybe I will come later, I have some things.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Dhanyavad pranam. Okay, that makes the difference between this self-realized soul and non-self-realized. God-realized and non-God realized. Qualitative differences we see.
Iz takve primjere vidimo tu razliku između realiziranih osoba, duhovno realiziranih osoba i običnih osoba. Obične osobe će se tužiti na sve i svašta, da li na bolove, da li na druge osobe, da li na to da više ne žele svoj život. Dok duhovno realizirane osobe su na drugoj razini, ostaju mirne, sretne, ne uznemirujući nikoga. To je velika razlika u toj kvaliteti.
All right. Next question. Who was raising hand? More?
Please give me blessing my desires to go into bhajan in Vrindavan and to live in Vrindavan.
Even if you are not able, that is a very nice desire, very great desire of you to physically go in Vrindavan Dham and leave your body. But even if it doesn't happen that way, so you understand, Vrindavan Dham is the divine consciousness. Siddham Vrindavan is not necessarily limited within the geographical area, earthly area of Vrindavan Dham. When you are situated in the Vrindavan Dham consciousness, I repeat, when you can stay situated in the Vrindavana consciousness, wherever you are living in Vrindavan also. Okay? And you will be living your body also in Vrindavana consciousness. Because Siddham Vrindavan expands, transcends beyond its geographical limits or geographical area, earthly concepts also. Vrindavan Dham manifests both ways. Okay, through art, within certain earthly jurisdiction area, geographical way, also in the conscious form. So you will be living in Vrindavan Dham. Even you are not being able physically being there, don't worry. If you can go there physically, well and good, be there and absorb in bhajana. If it doesn't happen even, don't worry about that. Which is all important, absorbing in bhajana activity. Jathai Vaishnavgan Seisthan Vrindavan. Wherever there are pure Vaishnavas living, Vrindavan appears there. In the same connection, I can say, wherever you find the bhajana activities, Vrindavan appears there. Okay, that is essence of the Vrindavana, inner concept of the Vrindavana. So Vrindavana Dham also manifests as divine Dham consciousness. Okay, aside from its earthly manifestation. Okay, so don't worry for that. Hare Krishna. Okay, any more question? Yes, please. Oh, you also. Who should? Okay, first you.
I want to ask very short, Maharaj. Thank you for this wonderful class about the basics that we sometimes forget.
Hvala lijepo na ovoj lijepoj lekciji koja je bila bazična, a te bazične stvari ponekad zaboravljamo.
There is one devotee, yesterday he complained, he has a problem in his life, he's a devotee, he has a big house, he made it a temple in eastern part of Croatia. He has a big problem with his neighbor. His neighbor is making him problems. He went to the police and they even made money fee to this man. He's tumbling chairs and he's making his life hell. So I have a question. Is there any karmic reaction to devotee that Krishna is sending this man to make his life miserable, to make him humble, or police cannot help anymore?
Uglavnom,
He's very troubled.
pitanje Šode Devi je znači da postoji jedan bakta u istočnom dijelu Hrvatske koji ima kuću koju je pretvorio u tempel. Ima jednog susjeda koji radi velike probleme i sad neki bakti priča o tome da ga je Krishna poslao da baktu čini poniznim, pa evo, nekakav input od Maharaja.
Anyway.
Sorry for it.
And first of all, we have to know the real nature of the problem, why such conflict came between him and the neighbor, what is the root cause of all such conflicts. Number one.
Prvo bi morali znati koja je priroda tog problema, odnosno zašto se svađaju.
Mogu li ja nešto reći?
They should have tried to amicably solve. They could have tried to amicably solve that problem, find out some solution in amicable way.
Mogli su pokušati naći neko rješenje tog problema na jedan prijateljski način.
Did they try at all to find out some solution? Calling police is not amicable solution.
No, police is the last solution.
He is a madman.
Madman. Okay, what are you saying?
Htio sam zahvaliti prije svega na predavanju i
I would like to thank for the lecture
na milosti koju ste podijelili sa nama.
and the mercy you gave us.
Na svom predavanju ste rekli da problem ako se zanemari, ako se gleda
On your lecture you mentioned that
uzvišeno, duhovno,
if we ignore one problem, whether it's material or spiritually,
on nestane.
it disappears.
Ja dijelim probleme u dve kategorije. Imaju problemi koji ako dođe kazna od države neće nestati sigurno. Samo se uvećava.
I divide problems into two categories. First category is problems which are enforced by the state. If we don't react to these problems, then they will only become bigger, they will multiply. The fine will be bigger.
A za druge životne probleme
And for other living problems,
uvijek tražim blagoslov Bhakti
I always ask for devotees' blessings
i savjete.
and counsel.
Oni su izvor znanja i izvor milosti.
They are a fountain of knowledge and grace.
Znači,
They are
Krishna
A fountain of grace. Source of grace and knowledge.
Krishna je izgovorio Bhagavad Gitu da bi Arjunu podučio da zauzme ispravan stav. Šta znači? Mi moramo imati ispravan stav u životu. Tako i naš Srila Prabhupada, kojemu odajem ponizno poštovanje. Sve knjige sam, kaže, napisao da bi morali formirati ispravan stav.
Krishna gave instruction in Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna to do the right thing. So in this way also, I give my obeisance to Srila Prabhupada, who wrote all his books, for us to also have the same kind of life attitudes, life perception.
Tako i ova Mataji koju prvi put vidim, mora imati ispravan stav. Niko ovdje ne garantira nikome da će dulje živjeti od nje.
So Ranga Devi also
ja sutra mogu otići prije nje, to ne ima rak.
Ranga Devi also has has to have the same attitude. All of us can leave at some time, nobody knows when. We can all leave tomorrow. We can all leave this body tomorrow. Maybe today.
Ali mora imati ispravan stav da se druži sa Krishnom. Kako god život traje, 2 dana, 5 dana, 100 godina, ali uvijek Krišnov centar. To je ispravan stav.
But the right attitude, the right conception is to put Krishna in center. You always have to have this consciousness, to put Krishna in the center.
Yes, that's his comment, yes, understand.
That's not the question.
Okay, connecting to what she was saying. When a neighbor is just a crazy man, I don't know the neighbor personally, but I just take her words, what she is telling, based on that. So, if the neighbor is just a crazy man, and other one is devotee, now, see, it will take time, another half an hour, 1 hour to answer.
Oh my God.
Law of karma. There is law of karma, karmic reaction found in individual way, collective way. There is individual karma and collective karma. So all are interrelated. So, it is also described in Holy Scripture as adhi bhautik, adhi doibik and adhi bhautik reaction. Some karmic reaction to suffering coming from caused by my own self. Some other coming from the environment. Okay. Some coming from, other entities. So, type of miseries, certain kinds of the miseries or suffering coming from my own self, caused by my own self. Certain others being caused by the environment, other animals or other living beings living in the surroundings. And other type of suffering coming from universal incidents like natural calamities. So none of us on this mundane plane of existence can be freed, can be totally freed from all three levels of the miseries. None of us can actually get rid of them because this plane is so designed, so planned out, plane of exploitations, plane of actions and reactions, So nothing new here, nothing really surprising is expected. Mundane plane means more or less plane of exploitation. Many good things are happening, many bad things also happening. So it's a plane mixed with good and bad activities. Good reaction, bad reactions. Okay. So time to time some bad reaction will come, it is expected. Okay, nothing surprising. And so when it's coming, Krishna is not responsible for that. This is a big misconception, wrong conception. Anything negative, anything, anything happening in a so-called positive or so-called negative way, all coming from Krishna. It's a big misconception. Okay, it's all happening by the law of karma and all being taken care of by nature through auto-set programmed universal computer program. Krishna is not directly involved. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, nakartittang nakarmanang lokasya srijati prabhu. Okay, he explains that although I am creator, things are being validated, created by me, still I am not directly involved. They are going on by my passive will. There is active will of Krishna and passive will. Okay, so because nothing can be validated without Krishna's energy. So even the negative, evil things are also happening by Krishna's energy, but in a passive way, neutrally passive way. A lot of things to be realized. They are not one and same thing. How to say? Sometimes two things can be very closely going together, looking alike, but they are opposite to each other, although they are close and looking similar. They are not same thing. So, to understand, so these are all happening, actions and reaction in the universal creation, so much happening by karmic actions and reactions, and then reactions, reactions from that reaction, and reactions from that last reaction, all going on naturally in tuned according to the system of law of karma. And karma is of individual nature and collective nature. Sometimes I have to suffer, or I have to take some reaction from some karma which is not directly done by me, but because I am living in that environment. So the collective karma of the environmental karma, collective karma also affecting me. You know, just as if something happens to the children, parents are affected. Parents are, if anything happens to the parents, children are affected. Although it's not biologically direct, it's not biologically happening for them directly. So lot of considerations are there. So these days we see mechanized computer program. It's already some program is created and is put in the brain of computer brain through output input process. So now everything is being taken care of by auto set program. The authority of the programmer, I mean the main programmer, the main person who created that program, put inside the computer, he is no more responsible for how that everything is taken care of by that auto set computer program. Okay, it's a system. It's working according to its own system. Okay, without involving its creator, inventor. Understandable? Yeah. Okay, so that's how many things happening in this world, universal, by internet of laws of karma. You know, before the internet of before the huge infinite internet system of the universal creations, action and reactions, this global internet system is nothing, it's a dot. You have to understand. So all taken care by auto set program, natural program set in the creation. Krishna is not directly dealing all this. He doesn't have time, energy to be involving with all so-called good and bad things every moment, every second happening in this world, and he has no other business, only doing everything directly. It's not that at all. But it's like that a government has got a legal system, country government has got a legal system, okay. The notes, our money has got signature of the governor of the bank. So something validated by law. But when somebody misusing money, I cannot accuse that finance minister. Because a gunda is misusing the money, I cannot say, why did you allow it, why did you validate it, therefore he is able to misuse the money. If you would not have validated the money, then he could not have misused, so you are responsible. No. He validated the money with his signature, bank governor's signature, bank signature, because of proper use, utility. If somebody misuses, he has to take the responsibility for that. Okay, God has created human intelligence for utility. If somebody misuses that intelligence for killing the people, destroying Mother Earth, then those evil persons are responsible for that. Krishna is not responsible. Krishna has never said, oh, you create atom bomb, okay, and you make explosion of the atom bomb for experiments underneath the earth and create tsunami. Change the texture of Mother Earth, okay, and create the tsunami. Then the layman put blame on God. These human beings, they are misusing their intelligence and they are creating the problems through their criminal activities. Krishna is not cause of that. Krishna created beautiful world, beautiful ocean. Okay, so many misuse of the scientific civilization, scientific culture are polluting the Mother Earth, exploiting the Mother Earth. Krishna is not asking them to do that. They are doing it and putting the blame on God. What is this? You don't put blame on you who are actually doing it. Okay, Krishna created these both lungs, not to infuse the smoke, tobacco smoke. Okay, but to inhale, to breathe in the pranic oxygen, pranic energy from the air. That's why lungs are created, not for tobacco smoke. If somebody forcibly infuses tobacco smoke and feeling sick after some time, then say putting blame on God, why it's happening, you are sending all these problems and troubles. What is this? It all comes from the ignorance. So, but anyway, but still nothing can be happening in this world without Krishna's energy. Okay, so everything is validated by Krishna's energy in a passive way, indirect way, in a neutral way. Understand?
Yes.
Like parents gave birth to a baby. Baby cannot be born without the help of the parents. So babies are validated by parents' energy. But what those babies, after babies grow up in the, and when the babies, they grow up and they engage in some wrong criminal activities, good or activity, parents cannot be blamed. Parents, it has to be ideal parents to educate them properly, bring them up properly, that's their duty. But babies, those childs are individual. Whatever they are doing, parents will not be directly responsible for their doing, but they are individual, independent. Similarly, every jiva has free will. Besides Krishna's sweet will, play of Krishna's will, every other jiva also endowed with free will. What is the function of the free will? And free will means it is free, not controlled by Krishna. If Krishna's will controls each and everything, where there will be free will? It will be absurd, something absurd. There will be no function of real free will. It will be simply absurd and self-contradictory statement, paradoxical statement that if everything is directly controlled by Krishna's will every time. So when it is said in the scripture or by Mahajanas, things are all happening by Krishna's will, it meaning many things happening by passive will. Do you understand the difference between active will and passive will? Yes. Active will means Krishna actively participating, involving. Passive means energy of Krishna is going by law, by a auto-set, system of the law of karma, action of reaction. It's like a preset, pre-created program in the computer, just as the machines do. Okay, many machines are taking care, many robots are taking care, program. But whatever being taken care of by computer programs, you cannot blame or cannot hold the creator of the program responsible for everything. Okay, so it's in that way. So we have to understand many things with the lights of knowledge of the siddhanta. So back to the point. All these problems, most of the problems coming from one's own individual or collective karmic reactions. Krishna is not responsible. Krishna doesn't get involved. It is understood by common sense. Otherwise, there will be a lot of self-contradictions. Krishna is the cause of so much injustice, so much cruelty, so much evil acts. On the other hand, he is supreme absolute good. Krishna is called as absolute good. It will be contradictory. He is, in one hand, we call him so compassionate, merciful Lord. On the other hand, so cruel. If sometimes they say Krishna is allowing it to happen. He is not creating, not sending directly, allowing it to happen. Even Krishna does that in the life of his devotees. He doesn't bother about others, conditioned souls. But in the life of the devotees, when problems come, we can take it like Krishna is allowing it to happen. Again, Krishna is not creating, sending them. There is a great deal of difference between Krishna creating, Krishna sending, Krishna is putting him or her in trouble, or it is happening by his or her own karma, bad or good and bad karma. But Krishna is not interfering. In this way, he is allowing it. He is remaining silent and neutral. In that way, passively allowing it to happen. Maybe for higher purpose, some taste. Many times, curse becomes transformed into boon in devotee's life, which is appearing like curse. It has got some purpose. Still, if that devotee continues with full faith and devotion, that curse gets transformed into boon, ultimately. So then we understand why Krishna allowed all those to happen. Devotees to make him, to make her like elite commando training, to come up with more power. Okay, power of devotion, power, not be like same thing. Ordinary people will be fearing, oh, I cannot climb up Himalayan mountain. I cannot be surfing on the ocean waves. Oh, they're too dangerous. But those who love the adventure, they enjoy it. See the difference. One category of people fearing, afraid of that. Others are enjoying, surfing on the ocean waves, big waves, enjoying to climb up the mountain. So, same thing, just becoming different by temperament, by the change of the temperament. One is enjoying the spirit of adventure, another is so fearful. So, in the lives of the high class devotees, all the curses, all the great difficulties and turmoils are ultimately transformed into boons. There is no doubt about it. There is no doubt about it. But one requires patience to understand it, understand the result in the long run, not short-sighted vision, not trying to understand and judging things through short-sighted vision, but long-sighted, far-sighted vision. Okay? Then it's proper understanding. But we often jump into some judgment, anything happening, putting blame on Krishna. It's not that at all. Let us own that for ourselves. We are causing. Let us become more intelligent. Let us become more purified. Let us become more pious. Let us become more trained in the mode of goodness. Instead of putting all problems I am creating, I am inviting, or it is being created by other human beings, putting blame on Krishna. Krishna created us, created all intelligence, human intelligence, created every for utility, proper use, not misuse. When somebody misusing and causing the problem, they are responsible, not Krishna. This is the truth.
I'll tell him that. Thank you.
So even that happening between the life of the devotee and the crazy neighbor, could be sorted out in some way. There could be some way out. Okay, and taking it, dealing it with, just go away, or start trying to help that crazy man in a nice way, proper way. Sometimes if the attacking way is not working, non-violent way of approach also works. Somebody trying to do harm to you, except for the nasty type of terrorists who are worse than the ferocious animals, except for the cold-blooded murderers. Average in other humans, see, somebody is trying to do harm to you. In return, you defend yourself, and in return, you do good to him. Again, he is trying to do harm. On higher principle, you do good to him. Okay? So that I am your friend. You don't understand, I am your friend. You are trying to become my enemy, but I want to be your friend. How many times that person will try to do your harm? Because some conscience, if there's some human conscience is left within, understand, at some point you'll realize, I'm always trying to attack him, doing harm to him, doing bad to him, but he is becoming so good with me. Change will come. Feeling the biting of conscience, repentance, change will come in a positive way. Then he will also become friend. So there are different ways to deal with, to solve the problem. But somebody is attacking me, I also attack back, attack back, without trying to solve it in an amicable, friendly way, then it creates more problem. Okay, it fuels more fire, and fire is not solution. So we have to be intelligent to bring these solutions, trying different ways. If one way is not working, another way should be open. It should be working. If that way also not working, another alternative way should be there. We can be helpful. But because of the limitations of our knowledge, limitations of the patience, we do not know how to deal with, problems go up and up, gets intensified. Yeah. But it's not that there is no solution. There are some solutions, either this way or that way, but we have to discover them. We have to go for it. But due to our ignorance and limited knowledge, inexperience, non-experience, it looks like cannot be solved. Cannot be solved.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Anyway, so all these things. If that person is really very crazy, okay, lodge a complaint in the government police station, let him be admitted in the hospital of the mad people, then the neighbor is gone and peace will come back to her life.
Yeah. It looks like it will end up there.
Okay,
The police
so
took him to prison.
also another way of solution. If you see he's really that crazy, he has got another place in the hospital, Mad's hospital.
Yes.
Then it will be peaceful. So why worry so much?
Hare Krishna.
Anyway, any other question? It's getting late. Yes, please.
When you mentioned to ignore the problem, does that exclude finding the solution, like healing or some sort?
Say again.
When you mentioned to ignore the problem, like for example, does that exclude trying to find some solution, maybe some healing? Because if we ignore the problem, then we are not looking for solution or some healing.
I mean both ways. Both ways. There are some problems in life. Best solution is just to ignore them.
I agree.
Without even handling it.
Yes.
One of the best solutions to ignore it, not to put any time, energy to solve it even. Ignoring is
advice for me.
okay. But where you find such problems of tenacious nature, even if you want to ignore, that doesn't want to go away from you. That problem has got a special attachment towards you. It doesn't let you go away. Okay, you want to leave behind, give it up, but problem is not leaving you. In that case, you have to find out the way of solution so that it leaves you solved.
You mentioned that we have to...
And there are ways of solutions through healing process, through positive. Problems can be solved through equally reactionary way. Problems can be solved through proper defensive measures, appropriately attacking measures, defensive measures through ignoring it, okay, or by just changing the character, attunement. I have to give examples. If the problem of nightmare disturbing a man or woman so much, often having nightmare problem, okay. It has become a habit to often have some big nightmare problem, almost causing heart failure, so strong. Then, one of the ways of solutions, all the time somebody should be sleeping with him or her. As soon as having nightmare, wake him up. Solution. Second phase of solution, seeing a psychiatrist, doing some mental treatment so that mind also remains a bit quiet, calm. Nervous system is strengthened with the potency of medicine, with some help of the medicinal potency, herbs. Number 3, he should be advised, the one having nightmare, he should be advised not to be eating very enriched spicy food before going to bed, sleeping, or not taking intoxication, which will create mental disturbance, neurotic disturbance and mental imbalance, causing nightmare. So must be eating and living life more in the mode of goodness. Number 4, we can find out, okay, some sort of thought process, healing system. Before going to sleep, discussing something with him, something very good, very positive, very joyful, nectarian, opposite character to the nightmare. Okay? Then maybe he may be dreaming something very nice instead of nightmare. See, approaches from different angles. Okay? And advise some yogic meditation before sleeping, something very nice. Engage in some very nice, beautiful meditation. So nightmare is being handled. That function of nightmare is being now handled, now being dealt. Approaching from different angles, all different aspects of the life is called holistic treatment. All right? Then the problem is gone. It's not one way of solution, only all the time having nightmare waking up. It's a one way. It has to be approached, handled from different angles. Then it's a holistic package of the treatment. What happens often, people try only this way, only that way, only this way. They don't approach, include all the ways together. It doesn't get solved. Thinking, oh, I am trying all the ways, all different ways, one after another, not happening. But you have not tried all of them together, simultaneously, through harmonious packaging. See, it's lacking of knowledge, lacking of education. Therefore, lights of knowledge, higher consciousness, life of the mode of goodness, and finally, life of devotion, loving divine devotion, divine love is so important to be fulfilled with happiness, to be receiving higher fulfillment of happiness, divine blissfulness. So, coming to your question.
এই পয়েন্টের মধ্যেই বলবো কিছু, না তো আবার ভুলে যাব।
কেন ভুলবে কেন?
ভুলে গিয়েছিলাম এখনি।
মনে রাখো। So, therefore, so our ideal happiness, pure happiness, pure experience of satisfaction through fulfillment can come through holistic approach, holistic and harmonious approach to the things, to relate to our life, to deal with things of the life with the proper knowledge. Therefore, Lord Krishna dedicated 1 or 2 full chapters by describing the glories of the knowledge. Otherwise, if it was not important, he would not have wasted time, energy for that. So it can become a great complementary thing. Pure knowledge, higher wisdom can be complementing our life of higher devotion. Complementing, supporting, assisting the growth, the development in the life of pure devotion. Ecstatic love of God. If knowledge is misused, then it acts opposite way, acts unfavorably. When the same knowledge is properly used as assistant, complementing factor, it can help our life of devotion, loving devotion to Lord, ultimately. So ecstatic love of God and ecstatic knowledge connecting with love of God are interrelated. Some knowledge which brings to you so much satisfaction and happiness. I repeat, some knowledge which brings to you so much contentment, self-contentment and satisfaction, causing some happiness. Because you feel so secured. You feel so secured and safe and just satisfied, contented because you are knowledgeable. You know how to do, what to do, which way to treat what. Then it brings some satisfaction. It's not pride, it's not false pride, but it's real, just pride, satisfaction. And that satisfaction of the knowledge can contribute to higher happiness, devotional happiness also. There is so much knowledge of siddhanta. What about that? If knowledge becomes like detrimental to life of devotion, it's not so favorable. That is talked about mundane knowledge, not the spiritual knowledge. Then why is there such a huge world of siddhanta? Huge world of the siddhanta is full of knowledge, high class knowledge, and knowledge complementing life of devotion. Okay, it's not just only life of devotion doesn't only mean only filled up sentiments and emotions, loving emotions, but it can also have lights. Life of devotion, life of pure devotion, loving devotion to the Supreme Lord can also be filled with lights of divine knowledge, enlightened. It doesn't always have to be blind. Life of devotion doesn't have to be understood as only devoid of only knowledge or consciousness, only full of some sentiments, sweet sentiments. Not that. It's enlightened. Therefore, great world of the siddhanta is there existing. What the world of siddhanta represents, big portion of the world of our siddhanta representing knowledge, lights of knowledge, lights of siddhanta. We call it siddhantic wisdom. Siddhanta means conclusions or conclusive knowledge. Siddhanta, I'm talking in Sanskrit term, pure devotional conclusions. English translation is that, siddhanta. In order to have higher devotional conclusions, we need some divine knowledge. Okay, it's complementary. So, okay. So, is it answered? Your question answered? Ignoring, it's true, ignoring the problem may exclude, I repeat, ignoring the problem, their solution, may exclude the proper solutions to the problem. I understand that. But as I replied to you, answered to you, in many places ignoring the problem is one of the best solutions. Where you cannot ignore it, problem is so persistent and tenacious into your life, so persisting in your life, you want to give up but it is not giving you up, pulling you in. Then of course you have to find out the practical ways of solutions to that problem. There must be some solutions. If this way doesn't work, that way will be working. If find out, try with all alternative ways, approaching holistically from all angles, just as I gave you examples. Okay. Then, while you put them together, your approach to solve that problem is more holistical, then it is resolved. But most of the people try to resolve a problem in a single way, in one or two ways, and then give up. Then they think, oh, I cannot solve it. They do not have more patience, do not have more intelligence, do not have much, widespread knowledge, because they do not have proper enough knowledge. So by trying one or two ways, insufficient ways, they give up thinking, oh, there is no solution. It's not that. There are solutions, there are other alternative ways. You do not know. You have to learn. This is called cultivations. Learning more and more. Go higher and higher. Be more and more enriched in knowledge. Sometimes little knowledge cannot be helpful. You need sufficient knowledge to resolve a problem. Little knowledge can be a dangerous thing sometimes. Insufficient knowledge. While you are taking your insufficient knowledge as the great knowledge and you are trying to apply, it may bring bad result also. So sufficient knowledge, befitting sufficient knowledge is required. And that's why we find so much glories, description of so much glories of knowledge divine in all of our scriptures. Also, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Jad Brahma Jyoti Sanatanam. Even Supreme Lord is also called a personification of all knowledge and consciousness. He is not only called as the unlimited personification of all ecstatic love, not only called as personification of bliss and ecstasy, but also called personification of life, knowledge divine knowledge, side by side. I can quote many verses. Satyam Jnanam, Supreme God is also Jnana Sharupa. Supreme Lord is truth. The Supreme Absolute Lord means truth personified, knowledge personified, Satchidananda, consciousness personified, and ultimately bliss personified. He is all powerful, all knowledgeful, okay, all blissful, everything. Not just only one way. We have to understand holistically. The place of ecstatic loving devotion to God, Krishna Prema, is given the highest position. Okay, it doesn't mean or it eliminates and rejects all the necessity of some knowledge, complementary knowledge of siddhanta and all. No. Therefore, so much do's and don'ts there in the whole, all over the scriptures. So much knowledge is given through the scriptures in the world of the siddhanta to understand what is what. For appropriate implementations, appropriate applications, guided by the lights of knowledge, higher kind of knowledge. When I'm talking about knowledge, it's not intellectual kind of calculative knowledge only, then it will be misunderstood. It's a higher kind of quality of knowledge, including the intellectual hypothetical knowledge within, but it's a knowledge through feelings, knowledge acquired through realizations, not just intellectual type of mechanical, hypothetical knowledge, logical knowledge. That is too limited. I'm talking about the knowledge which is glorified in the scriptures, a higher quality, transcendental quality. Okay, that is knowledge divine. That's what I'm talking about.
Ami.
Yes, bolo.
Sometimes, like mostly, like I have dream also, nightmare also. But like you said, somebody has to get, like, say, like, if I'm sleeping, if I have dream, maybe nightmare, whatever, and if somebody woke up me, and this not go continue. But this is not true sometimes. This has happened with me so many times. If I get up, sometimes I know I am in dream, and then I get up, and then I'm drinking water, going toilet and something, and then I go sleep, and then same continue.
Same dream continuing.
Yeah, no, continue, no. This part is finished, and continue from there, starting. Why? I have dream also, and what you said it now.
Same dream continuing.
Yes.
When you go back to sleep.
Yes, but not from starting. Continue from there.
Oh, so you have got a typical nature and character, particular constitution. Why? Because.
But I don't want to.
Because that's the way. That's the nature of your constitution. That's the way you are. That's why it's happening in a specific way with you. There is also solution and treatment for that. Okay? The treatment will be to ignore and discard that kind of negative dream.
I'm not talking only negative.
Oh, you are talking positive also. Okay, if your dreams are positive, very good. You should be welcoming it, indulging into it. Okay, promoting that positive dream is good. No harm in that. But for the negative dream, you have to discard it consciously, discard it, ignore it, and find something opposite to that negative dream. Fill your mind and heart with positive thoughts, more positive, beautiful thoughts, so that the energy of your negative dream cannot keep on influencing you. Very good.
But,
that's the remedy.
I'm asking because this so many times happen, nightmare also and dream also.
For the positive dreams, do not need to worry because it's positive dream. It's your gain.
But still, I like to get up drinking water. Maybe I'm thinking maybe not.
That's fine.
But this always I see going continue from there and going end. And sometimes not, but mostly I have dream like this will go continue.
Okay, so what's the problem? You're commenting, asking me what, any problem?
No, I'm asking, is good, is not good?
It's a mixed. My answer will be it's a mixed nature. When you are filled with positive dreams, you are having positive dreams, it's good. When you are having negative dreams, it is bad. But when you know how to treat, how to handle the negative dreams with the other positive, dreaming positively, thinking more beautiful things positively, then you also turn that bad side into good. Change that bad into good, then all becomes good. But if you don't know how to resolve, how to treat that negative side, negative dreams and all, and you keep on suffering, then it's the mixture of good and bad.
Okay, not so bad also, but only I'm I like to know this. And one more
Okay.
thing.
No more thing, because now majority decision. Now it's the time for them to take prasadam